Welcome back. 4 roads in and around Alvarpet in Chennai have been converted as one-way routes, sparking protests from residents of the area. They say driving children to school will now take more time.
A new one-way system has been enforced at 4 main intersections in Alvarpet. It involves the C.P. Ramaswamy Road, C.V. Raman Junction, Bhimanamutali Junction and KB Junction on TTK Road. Residents living in and around these locations say they are particularly concerned about driving children to school on these long one-way routes, which will take a lot of time. Residents also said reaching a hospital during an emergency will not be easy now.
I think it should be working good. Even some inconveniences, we'll have to bear it.
Very inconvenient for us because we have to go all round. We're wasting so much of petrol, and even to come out of my own street, and when I'm coming out, I have to go right. I can't go left to any shop out there. I have to go all round to come to that shop. It's very difficult.
The Traffic Police Department says it will study the advantages and disadvantages of the new one-way routes for a month and then decide whether to continue the arrangement or make changes.
We observe the places where the maximum pedestrian crossing, and we convert those places also zebra crossing. So during this 1 month period, we take this as also an exercise so that we don't want pedestrians to suffer. Rather, we love that pedestrians should cross that area without much hassles.
For now, the traffic police wants motorists to become familiar with the new one-way routes before fines are enforced for violations.
What we see here is that the traffic diversion has come into force without proper signboards for directions. For the commuters on road, it's a merry-go-round ride of sorts, adding to their already existing worries. In Chennai, with camera person Srinivas Salim for Ndtv-Hindu.
The Additional Commissioner of Police Traffic, Shakil Akhtar, spoke to us earlier. Here's what he had to say.
Whenever we convert two-way into one-way system, wider consultation in the beginning is not advisable because you will have 1,000 views and finally you cannot reach at any conclusion. So we see the volume of traffic, we see the requirement, and we decide considering all those aspects. And normally one-way is introduced for 1 month period. During that month period, we get a lot of representations, lot of complaints, whatever it may be. We consider all of them and do modifications accordingly. In the beginning, we start with the awareness, we start with the guidance, but after sometimes if they don't follow the rules, automatically start charging. We don't wait for them. The moment we started this one-way traffic, I think some of them came and they welcomed that. But only with slight modification, they advised us that instead of 4th cross the street, the buses can move through the St. Mary Roads. We said definitely that will be considered, and our officers have started directing the buses from the St. Mary Road. And so it was positive feedback as of now.
And residents of Alvarpet, Vinay Kumar and Abhishek joined us in our studio to take this discussion forward.
See, I've been a resident of this area for over 20 years, and I've seen the traffic grow by leaps and bounds exponentially, and nothing much has been done to change. Obviously, we need change, and this is just the first step in the change. Now we are having one-way streets. Next, we need to have zebra crossings, traffic lights, and other such things to improve. And people have also got to adjust to it. They must understand that they just can't run across the road and get to the other side. They need to use traffic rules. They need to get used to the pedestrian crossings. I think this mindset has to change. And once it happens, we are seeing traffic moving faster, and pedestrians have to understand.
Traffic moving faster and pedestrians to get used to the system. That's
they
what
have to
you're
get
saying.
used to it.
All right, Abhishek, let's get in your view here. You are against the system. Tell us why.
First of all, this change, whatever they're doing, is never permanent. It's always changing from time to time. I mean, for a week or 2 weeks now, they have this particular system. I mean, a month later, you will see it's all reverted back to the same thing. So motorists need to get adjusted to the new ways over and over again. I mean, it's continual pain for them. Second of all, first of all, right now, people don't have awareness of it. So first of all, before bringing the system, they should have brought the awareness into the people. Like he said that you should, first of all, what do you say? Get zebra crossings, get people to know the rules. You should have done that before you bring the system into it, not get the system in and then say, okay, you got to do this, you got to do that. I mean, and even old people, they can't even have have a system where they can cross the road easily.
You have a grandmother, right?
Yes, I have a grandmother. She can't cross the road easily. She has to, because traffic keeps flowing continuously, and there are no signals also for the, to stop the traffic intermittent. So it causes the pain to the people. And the other problem is, once you have the one-way system, in a residential area, you're going to increase the volume of traffic, you're going to increase the disturbance in that particular area. Even the value of that particular area is going to go down.
In more news from the city, 2 young men were killed after they were hit by a lorry on the Gemini flyover this morning. The victims were identified as Dinesh Kumar and Kaushik, aged 25. They were employees of a BPO company in Chennai. Their body was taken to the Government General Hospital for post-mortem and later handed over to their relatives. The city police filed an FIR and arrested the lorry driver, Siva Shanmugam, and produced him at a city court. Later, the accused was remanded under judicial custody for the next 15 days and lodged at the Puril prison. Members of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh were arrested in Chennai today for holding a march without permission from the authorities. They were arrested in 3 locations in the city.
These men were about to stage what they call the route march. The police appeared and stopped the march in Mylapore, Ainavaram and in the north of Chennai and arrested more than 300 members of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh.
Every year we organize a drill in the form of route march in almost all the cities and towns.
The RSS march was originally timed to take place on Republic Day last week, but authorities denied permission. The RSS says police promised to give clearance but later refused. The marchers were stopped as they stepped forward. They complained that they have been denied their right to hold a peaceful march. In Chennai, with camera person Kasilingam and Avinash Kastura, Ramanathan, Ndtv-Hindu.
In news from the districts, 2 people were killed and 50 others were injured in the controversial bull taming event which was held in Sivagangai and Pudukkottai districts. The deaths occurred in Pudukkottai. Thousands of spectators gathered to watch the traditional event, which is a show of valor by the bull tamers. About 200 bulls were brought from the neighbouring districts of Madurai, Trichy and Pudukkottai. In line with government guidelines, the bulls and the tamers were medically examined to see whether they were intoxicated before they were let into the ring. Conservation campaign group Reclaim Our Beaches organized what it called Zero Waste Celebrations. It was aimed at thanking all its volunteers who turn up regularly to clean up the beaches in Chennai. The event at Elliott's Beach was lined up with cricket and football matches, tournaments and orientation trips. The organizers expressed their gratitude to the volunteers and welcomed more people to sign up and be a part of beach cleanup effort. Up on the other side, we find out why London-based author Shrabani Basu is in Chennai.